Hello everybody, this is Kyrix, and I'm coming to you with This Week in Kyrix for Wednesday, August 23rd? Yeah, 23rd of 2017. It's actually the 27th. I debated even doing this at all. The only reason I'm even bothering is because if I don't, it's going to fuck up my whole TWiK schedule. Because I have it, by week. Like, oh, this is episode 15, this is episode 29, blah, 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 blah. Well, the issue I ran into now is I've also got to dig all this shit off the hard drive, which isn't that big a deal because I back up This Week in Kyrix fairly frequently because it's something I can easily get off my main hard drive and onto the external without, oh, I need to keep track of every individual goddamn episode. Not much has happened this week. I'm still on the secondary laptop. It's behaving mostly good. Occasionally, it will get kind of fuckety, and I can't even restart it. I have to actually hold down the power button, and, it's like, hey, do you want to go in safe mode this time? No, click, It's running Windows 7, which I don't have a problem with. I like 7 better than 8, because 8 has a lot of stupid shit it keeps trying to do. Problem is, by virtue of that, a lot of my shit is outdated. Like, I used to use Internet Explorer, and now everything's like, your Internet Explorer's old, so we're not talking to it anymore. So, bleh. No real progress has been made on getting the laptop workable yet, because, quite frankly, there's nothing I can do yet. I don't have any money to fix it, which really fixing it isn't my priority. My priority is recovering the hard drive. Like, I need to find someone, preferably locally, that is good enough with computers to take both of them apart and still put them back together functionally, and see if there's a secondary hard drive slot in here. And if there isn't, to put it into a laptop that does have a secondary hard drive slot, and just give me access to it for a couple of hours, long enough to get all my shit off it, and then put it as the primary in this laptop, so that I can just push my reset button, wipe the hard drive, and hopefully have a brand new functioning goddamn computer. Ideally, this would have a secondary, which I think I remember seeing in the specs. I know it has a D drive, but a lot of time that's just a partition, but I think this is an actual secondary hard drive. If for no other reason than when I reset the computer, it doesn't do shit to the other hard drive, So if it does have a secondary functional hard drive, that would be fantastic, because then I've got 2 really big hard drives. But that's the plan, and the reason it needs to be a friend is because I need someone who can either do this as one payment or do it for free, because if I take this thing to a shop, it's going to be, okay, I need you to take this apart. Okay, now give it to me, and I'll be back in 6 hours. Okay, now do it again. Now I'll pay you. There's not a fucking shop on the planet that's going to do that for me. And even if they did, I can't afford it. I might be hard-pressed to take the money out of fucking Amscot and still afford that shit, So, that's where we stand on the laptop. Again, there still very much is the chance it'll fix itself. Matter of fact, let me open this fucker up and try it right now. Just because. Let's see, plug it in. Come on. There we go. Nope. Because, see, the problem is, my laptop has 2 lights. It has the green light underneath the, I guess that's the power thing. It looks like it's a headphone jack, but it's a light bulb symbol. And that light basically says, hey, the power is on, the computer is on, etc. Then there's the light, which consistently has been orange, that is the power battery light, which is to say, hey, the battery's charging or the battery's low. Like, if I have it in sleep mode, that'll flicker. If it's low, it turns orange. If it's critically low, it turns red. If it's good, it's green. And normally, when I plug the computer in, the orange light comes on because the battery's fucked, so it won't ever hold a charge anymore, but it will say, hey, we're getting power. and the green light will be off until I push a button. What's actually happening now is I plug it in and the green light comes on immediately. So it seems like the computer thinks it's already on when it's obviously not. And because it thinks it's on, even when I push the reset button, it doesn't do shit. There's no sound. Like, when I turn this fucker on, I can hear it whirring to life. So I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. I don't think it's the hard drive that's fucked. Because A, I don't think the hard drive was positioned where I hit the computer, but then again, I've never seen it. I've never seen any laptop open, much less mine, so I don't know damn clue where the thing is. For all I know, it's in the fucking screen. I'm sure it's not, but it could be. But, yeah. Like I said, for all I know, I don't think the thing is done, because I've had computers where the hard drive was completely borked that would still turn on. And I have computers with perfectly intact hard drives that will not turn on. I have them now, in fact. And, yeah. And if I can't get shit off that hard drive, then there's a lot of shit that's just gotta be redone. Like, there's no doubt several episodes of Phantom Pain, if not the entire goddamn Let's Play, and that will make me sad. For one thing, it'll make me sad because that'll mean that at no point did I ever back the damn thing up. You know? But I'm reasonably certain that before moving it over to the D drive, where it was stationed, that I backed it up. So, that's a thing. I'm not really far enough into the evil run of Infamous to miss it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 4 episodes in. I could redo those in like a day. Festival of Blood's already up. I can redo the Ash run. I'm pretty sure I still have the saves for Philly Fantasy VI and Equestria Bound, and if not, the entire episodes. And if I don't, I can just do them over again, you know? So I'm not losing much, but the shit I'm losing irks the shit out of me, because some of it represents a lot of work, you know? Like I said, if for some reason I never backed up Phantom Pain, that's 50 plus episodes gone forever. That's a lot. I mean, granted, I could just as easily start a new game and do significantly better this time around, but now that I, know the controls and shit, but that doesn't mean I want to do that. And then there's the fact that the Phantom Pain, by virtue of how it works, has a lot of timed stuff, like, oh, sit for 15 minutes and this happens. I don't want to sit for 15 minutes and that happens. I want to play a game. I mean, it's different in Peace Walker, where I just grind the same boring mission over and over again at 3 minutes a pop for 6 hours. Which I don't think I ever did anything that bad, but you get the idea, you know? Well, I did do something that bad, but it was for multiple items and not for one, whereas this is sit for an hour, except here's the thing, after like 10 minutes, it stops the timer. Because, like, well, he's idle, we're not just... No, if I'm idle, keep the fucking timer going. That's kind of the point, you know? So, yeah, it's a matter of assessing the damage. With any luck, soon I'll have a job. So if I have a job, that opens funding, which opens the idea that, hey, I can get this thing working. You know, worst case scenario, maybe I can find a friend who has a laptop that has 2 hard drive slots. And they're like, hey, let me put this hard drive in your computer and get my shit off it. Of course, semi-worst case scenario, the other laptop, the broken one, has 2 hard drives and I need to do it twice. Because I'm going to be perfectly honest, most of my backlog is on the D drive, because that's the drive where shit doesn't install to, so that's my storage drive, or at least it was. So, it is what it is. But that's the update on the computer. Basically, there is no update. I've been doing more shit on this one. Like, I installed all my GOG games, which is Neverwinter Nights 1 and 2, Star Wars Jedi Academy, Galactic Battleground, Star Wars Rebellion. I didn't do Punch Club? Oh, I guess I didn't do Punch Club. But that's what I've been doing. No plans anytime in the near future to do recordings on this. For multiple reasons. Number one, Right now it's behaving, but at any point this thing could go completely pear-shaped. For another thing, it could absolutely, just due to wear and tear over the years, because I had this thing for a couple of years, just due to the raw wear and tear of the sheer mileage I put on it, it's entirely possible that this thing, despite having superior specs to the other computer, is now an inferior computer. Like, I'll get lag and shit. Even worse than on the old one. Then there's the fact that I can't get XSplit to do a goddamn thing, hence the reason I'm back on Movie Maker doing this. And then there's the fact that all the projects I was working on are like halfway through, and to get them I need the D drive, so there's no point starting new shit. Like, oh, let me start 3 new Let's Plays. Oh, look, here, let me get back on these other 9 that I left alone. You know, and there's certain shit that I just can't run on here. I cannot run Discord on this computer. I don't know why. It refuses. It's like, hey, this thing we need is missing. And I don't feel like looking for it. But, and then there's the fact that this, even if I do what I'm supposed to do, which is, hey, I'm going to get all the hard drive shit onto this computer is at best a stopgap. The idea is that hopefully soon I will have a job, and thus a brand new laptop/desktop computer that will handle all of my recording needs. That's the plan. The reality, who can say? I haven't exactly been having luck on that front. I mean, it's only been 3 fucking years, and I've had 2 callbacks ever. And one of them was because someone vouched for me. So, you know, make of it what you will. But, I do have hopes that come October I will be employed, if not sooner. Maybe I can get Walmart to finally give me a call back. I'd love to work at Walmart. It's close by. I can get there in 16 minutes without getting a sweaty mess, even on some of the hottest days of the year. Now, the return trip, the 2 added up together, I'll be a sweaty mess, but by the time I'm home, who cares? I can get my shopping done on the way out, you know, like, hey, I should pick up dinner tonight. Let me stroll over to this aisle. Plunk. Plus, I think there's employee discounts, which is even better. I don't know. That would be a bonus. And then there's multiple sections I could work. I mean, I wouldn't mind a greeter job, which I don't... I think that's usually older people, but, you know, I could do that. Simple, go out, get the carts, you know, bag shit, run the cashier, or cash register, rather. Fucking electronics I'd be fantastic at. You know, there's all sorts of shit I could offer in that thing. And then, of course, there's the job my roommate might be able to get me, which is basically a midnight to 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. shift of just stapling boxes. I can do that. It's monotonous, but who cares? I've done more monotonous shit for free. I can do monotonous for money. And, so, how was my week? That's the question, isn't it? Let's start with HeroClix. I have fantastic news for myself and those people who give a shit. HeroClix is now officially on Wednesdays all the time, which I've only been trying for like 6 to 10 years to get the judge to switch it off of Tuesdays to any other day. And he finally did. I played the Runaways again, because that's what I've been playing. It's the only shit from the new sets I own. And I actually managed to come in 4th. I didn't do too bad. I lost 1 round, but I lost that round horribly. Horribly bad lost that round. And rounds 1 and 2, I just devastated in. I'm trying to remember what the first team I fought was. I know it included Venom. I think it included Venom. I might be thinking of last week, but no, I remember what it was. We had a new guy, and I actually got him in the first round, and I spent half the game, you know, getting him back up to date. He played the team-based Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, which I'm rather famous for being awesome with. And I managed to get it, I think, at the tail end, like at time or something. Second round, I fought a Gotham City team, got my ass kicked. my team, all my damage dealers are ranged, and he got inside. Basically, he would sit in stealth so that I had to punch him, and it wasn't doing me any good at all. No favors there. Third round, I fought a guy who was playing two really broken Spider-Men. One was Peter the Hunter from What If, where he's got Kraven's stuff or something like that, or he's subjugated the family. I don't know what the hell it is. Normally really bad, but this guy didn't play him very well. And the other one was Cosmic Spider-Man. Well, the problem with Cosmic Spider-Man is he flew him up with no support, despite having 4 entirely disposable pogs to draw my fire with. And he jumped the gun. The character's job is to move up. He has like 11 spaces to move with. Is to move up, shoot, and get the fuck away, or move up, punch, get the fuck away. He moved up and used all his movement getting to me and had none left to get away, and then I fucking dogpiled his ass, and he couldn't do shit. By the time his next turn came around, he was dead. You know? And I just mopped up Peter the Hunter right after, because, again, my main damage dealer is a ranged, and Peter the Hunter has none. Well, he's got like a 4, but I'm working with 8s over here, you know? So, it went pretty well. I don't even remember getting a prize, but I'll just talk to the judge about giving me some pogs. I got stuck in the rain, actually, on the way up there. It's on, let's say, 102nd Avenue. I don't have a number for it, because for some reason, every so often, they don't number it, they just give it a name. But we're going to call it 102nd Avenue, just so that we have a number to work with. I hit 64th Avenue. It had already been raining a bit. I was caught in a light drizzle, didn't care. Drizzle got heavy around 64, so I pulled into this plaza and just sat it under an overhang for like 10 minutes. Rain stopped, resumed my trip home. Then I heard thunder at the end of the third round, like heavy fucking boom thunder. I'm like, oh shit. So I talked to the guy at the store, because he was on a laptop. I'm like, hey, could you pull up a weather map? He's like, oh man, this is looking nasty. So I tell the judge, I'm like, dude, I gotta go. I mean, I hate to back out at the end of right at the end of a tournament before we do prizes and shit, but I gotta go. He's like, oh, that's cool, man, just give me back the figure. So I walk over to the table. He's at the back of the store, I'm at the front. So I walk up to the front, get the figure, go back to him, hand him the figure, turn around, fucking torrential downpour. In the time it took me to walk to the front of the store and in the back. And we're not talking like Albertsons or Walmart or some shit. We're talking like roughly a convenience store size store. Not that I'm calling the place a convenience store, but I mean, that's the scale we're working at, like a Circle K or a Wawa or something like that. Not a big store. And I'm only walking half the length of it anyway. Because when I say he's in the back, there's still more back. You know what I mean? He's more in the middle of the store, and I was up front. So just in that fucking 10-second time span, we went from clear weather to fucking downpour. So I'm sitting there thinking, shit, I gotta wait this out. There was actually a plan. The guy who was working the register basically said, if you wait a long time and it's still downpouring, we'll throw your bike in my truck and I'll drive you home. Which thankfully didn't come to that. I mean, I wouldn't have minded getting home sooner, but I don't want to impose. As it was, I rode home through a bit of a drizzle, which was nice because it kept me cool, you know. Yeah, that's how that day went. It was pretty good. We're on Wednesdays now, so I don't have to give up my Pokemon at all, because I've been worried about that one tournament was going to come up on a Tuesday, and I would just have to make it because of whatever reason. I actually was going to skip next week's, but I decided, no, I'll go in, because it's a draft of the new Thor set, I assume, for the movie. I don't give a shit about Thor, so I would normally skip it, but I'm like, you know what? It's a draft. I don't care about the figures, so I'll just borrow figures. You know? That's what I'm going to do. But Tuesday. Tuesday actually was not fantastic. Nothing against the players, it's just I was up there for almost an hour before any of the people showed up because school started again, and most of the people there are in school. So I had no one to play Pokemon with for like an hour. So, but it was pretty good. I got a lot of shit worked on. I'm actually working on my Omega Ruby right now to get some legendaries so that I've got more legendaries for my team. And I'm actually, part of me wants to sleep right now, but I can't because I got a turkey in the oven. Again. Yeah, Kyrix got another fucking turkey. I've actually had it for a couple months, been sitting in the freezer, but I'm eating it now. Partly because I'm out of food, I'm just literally down to peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I went out and bought 3 loaves of bread, and I've gone through 1.5 of them already. Yesterday was actually pretty good for food because the roommate took me out to Cece's, so I ate a fuck ton of pizza, and it was awesome. And part of the reason for that was because he didn't want to cook, and part of it was because his mother dropped her dog off here. We've been dog sitting, and I've mostly been taking care of him, spending time with him, walking him, etc. And that was partially payment for that, so that was cool. But I only eat white meat on the turkey because I don't much care for the taste of the dark meat. Fortunately, or unfortunately, neither does my roommate or my pets. Fortunately, however, his mother's dog does like it, and I have her permission to give it to him, so he and I are going to be eating some turkey tonight. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be turkey buddies. Not a lot else going on. I've actually been doing prep work for a Let's Play, that is to say, my Let's Play of Tales of Symphonia. And by prep work, I am playing on my personal file, not my personal file, on the Let's Play file, but I'm playing a pre-thing, because the thing with Symphonia is it's a long game on its own, and it's, god damn it, longer still. Sorry, I'm trying to brush my hair for reasons, and I hit a tangle and it pissed me off. It's longer still if you play it vanilla, if you just start up, hit new game, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through it and unlock all the titles and shit and all the techniques. And then when it comes time to record the Let's Play, I will do a new game plus and I'm going to start with all my techniques and all my titles and probably increase the rating of my XP so that I gain 10 times XP so I don't have to spend time grinding. And you may think this is a cheat, but it's really not for multiple reasons. One, the titles only control your stat growth. Which is to say, I'll do the Berserker title and gain, plus 10 strength and plus 10 accuracy or something like that per level up, but that doesn't necessarily make me stronger. I mean, it makes me stronger, but I mean, it's not I'm going to be broken because I have Berserker. I just have more control over what my gains are. If I don't want Lloyd to gain any defense for whatever reason, and I just want him to be attack, I can do that. In the techniques, yes, I will start with Genus's fucking Meteor Swarm technique. Here's the thing. It's so expensive that I can cast it once. I know because I've done it. It's Meteor Swarm! Pew, pew, pew! Boom! And then he has to get in melee and keep thwacking away until his meter is completely full again, because that's how much it costs to cast it. And on top of that, not only can I only cast it once, but Genus's stats start out so fucking low that it's not even going to kill anything. I'd be better off just casting Fireball. Well, if that's the case, Kyrix, why are you doing this? Simple. So that I don't have to spend time leveling them up. I need to hit level fucking 7 so I can get, Tempest. No, I just have Tempest. More so that I don't have to worry about, Lloyd's gonna have all his shit, Mostly it's for Rain so that I will have spells like Nurse, because that is a must-have spell. Plus there's certain titles that are a pain in the dick to get. I'm going for several right now. 3 of the hardest ones, in fact. Which are, I cannot use gels until the fight with Pranima, which is a third of the way through the game. I have to use Lloyd's starting weapon until, the 6th boss fight. And nobody's allowed to die until the first quarter of the game is passed. And I might actually have to abandon some of these for the second and third playthrough. because it's really hard to keep everyone alive when you can't use healing items. And the worst part is, I can't find a consensus for if that's only you can't use healing items in battle, or you can't use them at all. You know, so that's one of the problems I'm having. I'm getting those titles out of the way. I don't particularly care for the stats on them. I just want them, you know, just to say, hey, I've got all these titles. Then there's shit like the EX skills, where you get these little gems that you can equip to your character that give you side skills. And those skills can have skills together, like, let's say I put a skill on Genus that's like, oh, you can tap the casting button, and he'll cast stronger, he'll, like, pump the spell. And then another one where it's like, oh, he can taunt or something, which this isn't a combo. And the end result is, oh, you don't stagger when you're hit anymore. Like, if someone hits me mid-spell, it won't knock me out of the spell anymore. That is a physical requirement for Genus and Rain. They cannot function late game without those skills. And they shouldn't have to. So that's another thing I'll start the game with. They're minor things that will make things easier. Because, quite frankly, I've got nothing to prove on the original Tales of Symphonia. I got nothing to prove to anyone. I've beaten that game several times. Probably like 6 or 7 times. So this is just a case of, hey, this makes it easier on me. There's less grinding, so less on-screen grinding, less grinding I have to do off-screen. I'll probably start with my money just so I don't have to do that at all. And just, hey, here's all these items. You know? Because when you're talking a let's play of a game you've played before, I don't think anyone cares, like, Kyrix didn't earn that 10,000 gold for that sword. Yeah, I did. Last game. You know, the shit I did off-screen. Plus, that means I don't have to backtrack as much, because there's an enemy called the Sword Dancer, and every time you run into him, you're not supposed to fight him until significantly later. I've proven, because I've done this before, that at 10 times XP, you can fight him right away. Especially if you do even a little bit of grinding. You'll be like level 30 by the time you fight him. And you might say, well, Kyrix, if you're leveling that fast, the game's too easy. Here's the thing, it's not that hard to begin with. It's a pretty easy game, especially when you're talking the final boss. There are some bosses that are just colossal dicks. But, you know, the last boss, ironically, isn't one of them. Matter of fact, he's one of the easier bosses. So I've been working a bit on Symphonia. I have plans. I'm still kind of up in the air on this. I'm gonna try and find a couple people who have played Dawn of a New World, which is the Symphonia sequel, and I want to see, not necessarily spoilers, but I mean like how it stacks up story-wise. Like, is there a lot of plot twists and shit that I will want to capture on camera? Or is it just, you know, like, say, oh, you're playing Final Fantasy V, X, that's the tree, you know? Quit barking. Go lay down. You know, is it just minor shit that might be entertaining? Because if it's just minor shit, I will play through the game. Because I've owned this game for fucking 3 years now. Never played Dawn of a New World. I don't think I've even seen the title screen for it, to be honest with you. And I kind of want to play it, because I kind of spent money on the damn thing. You know what I mean? So, and of course, if it is anything like the original game, then I'm going to have to wait, and I'll do my blind reaction to it, which I will probably do alone, just because all the people I would have gamed with have moved away. So, Dawn of a New World will be a 2-parter thing, where it's like, hey, here's the Kyrix run, and here's the everyone else run. Because, best case scenario, we're going to talk best case awesome scenarios. My best case scenario is this. October, I get my job, right? Set aside a little money, retrieve all the shit off the old laptop, put it on the new laptop, or rather the older laptop. Get my new computer, or at least get my new laptop. Set aside large chunks of money for a couple months, get my new desktop. Or maybe I've got connections with friends who can hook me up even better than that. You know, because I do know a couple people. And the new laptop and or new desktop will be capable of streaming Not necessarily because I want to stream, but because I want to do like picture-in-a-picture shit. And then I find several friends who are unfamiliar with one or both games and say, okay, I want you guys to do co-commentary with me. And maybe I'll pre-record it. I'd much rather just get it live. Like they could say, oh, do this. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that, you know. Let them narrate the direction of the game and I just handle battles. And let them discover on camera for everyone to see how the story goes, you know. And there's a couple other games like that I want to do. There's a ton of computer games I want to do. Like I want to get... One moment. Shush! I want to get a whole bunch of other stuff. Shush! Go down! Like I want to do Baldur's Gate and shit. But anyway, we're gonna end it here because I'm just rambling. So, bye-bye, everybody.